Well, I think we made it in.
I am so sorry.
No, don't apologize. I actually had to click go live like 3 times. It kept saying, your internet's not connecting. Your internet's not connecting. I'm thinking there's something up with us going live today.
Well,
However, I do see Rachel. So hi, Rachel.
hi, Rachel. So I have not been working from this home office, and I've blurred the background. It apparently Restream's background blur is not quite as strong as Zoom's
Zoom.
background blur. I have been working from my outside the home office, and this home office has apparently became like my teenager's Goodwill donation staging ground. So I haven't been working from here. So when I got into my office, I allowed myself 15 minutes to like get my mic plugged back in and all of that kind of stuff. But I had to restart my computer, and then getting logged into Restream, everything requires the 2-factor authentication now. So I tried via Facebook and I couldn't remember my Facebook password. And then I did the Google. It was just a nightmare. So thank you guys for bearing with us. This is apparently my first time ever, even though it's not. So thank you all for your patience. I greatly appreciate it. And we are so thankful that you're here. So thank you.
That's why I never, ever stress about this. Like, I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. It's okay.
Yes.
You know, I've had, guests on who, their microphone's not working. So it's crackling and, all kinds of stuff happens. So we have a lot of people signing in. So, hi to Carolyn, Gretchen. Gretchen and I go live tomorrow. Awesome. Melissa, thank you for hopping in. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you will I owe you the biggest apology because I had LinkedIn rolled out their post scheduling feature, and I'm never like ahead of the game. And for whatever reason, I got my act together this week and I packed the week with posts. And then my calendar alert went off this morning to remind me of our party this evening. And I was like, oh my God, I probably should have said something about our thing today. So I plan to post about this on Saturday morning. So hopefully you'll get lots of retroactive engagement.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And this is obviously recorded. So a lot of people come in afterwards and watch. So anyway, I am just so happy to be here. And I have a bummer to announce. I mean, you started something on LinkedIn, right? You started, I don't know if you started it, but you certainly play a lot with it. And that's the mugs.
The mugs. I did start it.
Okay. So it's your fault.
How it started? So, Leah Turner launched about a year and a half ago. And I don't know what prompted her to do it, but she was very excited with her, when her first logo launched. Mm-hmm. And it was a very simple white mug, and I could go down and get it because she always jokes, and I'll have to, so I can't comment on this video for compliance reasons. I'm not allowed to comment on video, so I won't be able to tag her. So if anyone wants to tag Leah Turner in the comments and tell her that we're talking about her, please feel free. But so about a year and a half ago, she launched a merch mug. And she always jokes that I have the most complete collection of Leah Turner merch. But it's just a very simple white mug with her like purpley pink Leah logo. Yep. And so I bought one, but I joked with her. I said, I don't want this. I want a mug with your mug on it.
Yeah.
And I have always said that jokingly. And I joked about it in front of Heather Lawson Bradfield, who is one of my favorite people, and she does not take her jokes lightly, and she immediately delegated to her assistant to hop on Zazzle and had a mug made with his face on it. And we have since. So what's your mug bummer? I haven't.
Well, because I got because of all this great merch going on, and then Chris Hennessy had merch, and then Lauren had merch. Yes. I'm like, okay, fear of missing out. I went and got merch. And I love my logo. And so I tried everything to have the mug arrive before today. So I would have my merch mug. It didn't come in today.
So did the Mavens do your merch?
Yes.
Oh, I just adore them. Okay.
Look at my logo has like, I love Yeah, Guy
stunning.
did the logo. So Mavens of
Oh,
Merch did my logo. It's on my mug, and I just wanted to show it to you today.
oh, okay. Well, that's stunning.
Yeah, so, yeah.
That was my birthday. I was like, I literally have a laundry list of 20 things that I want from the Mavens of Merch website. And so as a result, I literally have nothing. I have Z has sent me they have so many like fun sayings on their
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I have a couple of the fun sayings
Yeah.
on t-shirts that she sent me, but I have no merch from any of my creator friends because I don't like when you have so many to
I
choose
know.
from,
Well,
how do you choose the first piece that you buy? It's like that's why I never when people make these posts where you're like tag your favorite whatever, I'm like I don't participate in those because I don't want to leave.
Well, it's hard. Well, I even have like Chris Hennessy has a sticker that says "Be Weird." It's right here on my computer. I'm like, okay, I need to put my credit card away now.
I know, that's the problem.
Hey, Gretchen, if you're listening, do us a favor. Tag Leah, tag the Mavens of Merch. Let them know we're talking about them.
Absolutely. Well, that's so cool that you have that on the way. I'm sad that it's not here, but I love that you had them design that stuff for you. And I love slash hate that you're now one of the many people that I'm gonna have a struggle of one of these days. I'm gonna start a fund and I'm gonna put like $25 a month in it. And I'm going to let the year go by. And then next year I'm just going to buy one from each of you. And then I'll have a whole stash.
You're going to have a whole collection on your wall.
Yes.
All right. So what's your story? So you're on the hot seat.
Where do I start?
Where do you start? Well, share something that got you to where you are today. I mean, your presence on LinkedIn is amazing. You've gifted my coaching clients your time, in one of our mastermind groups. So yay, thank you. Go for it. Yeah.
Well, so so the reason that I'm on LinkedIn, so I'll start relatively soon and work my way back, and you just tell me when to shut up. So
okay,
why I showed up on LinkedIn, I started a new sort of career path. Best timing known to man in the beginning of 2020. And it's not something that I'm able to talk about on any sort of like podcasts or recorded videos, but obviously I'm on LinkedIn. You can can be my friend or whatever. You can read all about it on my profile or whatever. It's not some sort of like top secret CIA thing. It's just not something I can talk about on video. But so that was the beginning of 2020. We all remember the beginning of 2020.
Yep.
And my new career is something that's really heavily based on face-to-face networking in normal times. And I knew that really wasn't going to be an option. And so I knew that LinkedIn was going to be important for me. And the way that most people in my industry do LinkedIn is doesn't really resonate with who I am as a person. And I gave it a shot for a couple of months just because I had never done what I currently do. And I was being coached to do it a certain way. And I was like, okay, well, if this is what they're telling me to do, and I've never really been on LinkedIn before, I had 450 connections from my previous industry. And so I was like, okay, well, if this is what I'm being told to do, then this is what I'm going to do.
So now we know you're a rule follower.
Yeah, right. I mean, like habitual, like, okay, but it just felt really icky. And at the end of every day, I'm like, this is not working. So I am not, I am a rule follower, but at the same time, I don't jive with ineffective. I'm not big on wasting time. I'm not big on spending a whole lot of my energy on things that I don't feel like are productive for me.
Yep.
And so I had to sort of recalculate, okay, how am I going to figure out a way to show up on this internet universe in the same way that I would be showing up in the real world if I were able to do that. So if I were able to go out and show up in coffee shops and in-person networking events and happy hours and things like that, how would I show up? And I would not be showing up in some sort of perfectly polished professional way. I would be showing up in a very loosey-goosey, kind of bubbly, personable
Relaxed.
way.
Yep.
That's who I am. That's what I am. And those are the kind of clients that I want to attract, because the kind of clients that resonate with that perfectly polished, buttoned up person who does what I do are not going to enjoy working with me. So,
Me too.
yeah, I mean, it's not who I am. And I am a professional. And that's the biggest thing that I feel like LinkedIn in general has taught me so much. And there's so many amazing humans that I've learned from over the past few years, is that there are so many different ways to define professionalism, right?
Right.
You can be a professional, you can be really amazing at what you do, and you can be covered in tattoos and piercings.
Right.
You can be a professional and be really amazing at what you do and have children hanging off your hip and dogs in the background, right? You
Yep.
can be a professional and be really amazing at what you do and show up to meetings with no makeup and sweatpants on. You can be a professional and be really amazing at what you do, and you can swear every other word if that's the vibe that you are giving off. You know, it's all about who you want to attract. And LinkedIn has just been the most amazing, and I'm such a nerd about it, and I'm sorry, you'll have to tell me to shut up, because I feel so strongly that, you know, when you do business in the 3D universe,
Right,
you're restricted to sort of fitting yourself in a box based on what you think that the people around you want you to be, so that you can do business with them based on who you think they want you to be. When you show up on LinkedIn and you have access to the entire world, or in my case, I can only really do business with people in the United States, but I still get to hang out and chat with the entire world, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I really get to focus on doing business with people who resonate with my personality. And on LinkedIn, you get to sort of just put yourself out there, and people are able to just really magnet to you based on that. And so that's really, really cool, and been a very, very interesting experience, and something that I have really, really enjoyed. So
I admire your presence on LinkedIn, you know, and I met you on LinkedIn. I don't know exactly how, you know, I mean, I know, you know, I was being coached by Katie McManus, so I have a feeling she probably directed me in your direction. I have met the most amazing humans on LinkedIn. I just can't tell you. I mean, I've hired Chris Hennessy. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Chris Hennessy or Katie McManus. I learned from Leah Turner. And a lot of the people I've met have come on my live or you know, help my clients.
I have found that it all kind of spider webs together and expands over time. And it's just the most magical thing if you allow it to be. And you can, I mean, if you want to, I had somebody comment to me the other day, like, oh, well, I've never made any friends on LinkedIn, and I've been here for 5 years, and I've never found anything because I just enjoy it for the articles. Well, if you just enjoy it for the articles, then you probably won't ever make any friends. And if you just want to enjoy it for the articles, then I am glad that you enjoy it for the articles, and that is totally cool.
Yeah.
That's what you enjoy it for. Yeah. And I respect that for you.
Yeah.
But for me, it's been tremendously empowering and like just this amazing social fulfilling space.
Yeah, I agree with you. And in fact, like, you know, Gretchen's here. Gretchen and I go live tomorrow. She's a coach. We were doing the open door coaching tomorrow. Awesome. And Melissa Houston. And I don't want to forget anybody because the scrolling is going through on my feed. But so many amazing people. And I'm also there authentically to hopefully attract clients, which I haven't done yet on LinkedIn. So there's still time.
And it does. I mean, it's super interesting to me. And there is and I think coaching in particular is probably a slower build, right?
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of trust that goes into making a decision, you know, as to who you work with on a coach. People that work with me, it's either we chat and get to know each other for 2 or 3 years before they make a decision to work with me, or if there's an immediate need and we have one conversation and then we are working together. So it seems to be one extreme or the other, which has been the most interesting part of it. But so that's the story of why I wound up on LinkedIn. That's why I'm here, is I started a new career path that needed that source of, gosh, I got to meet new people. And I really, I don't have a way to do it because it's during the pandemic. The reason why I changed jobs, I was in the car business for 13 years. I got in the car business because I dropped out of college because I got pregnant and married in that order at 19. I like to tell that story because I'm pretty proud of how life turned out for me. I feel like that's one of those things that a lot of people feel like can't wind up okay. And it really did. I mean, my marriage did not wind up okay, but it wasn't the end of the world. It only lasted 6 months, but I got a beautiful human being out of it, and I wouldn't change a thing for the world. But I certainly did not stay married. That was not a great decision, but it was what needed to happen in that moment for me to feel secure in moving forward. And so but I dropped out of school and started selling cars when my daughter was 6 months old. I sold cars for a couple years, was pretty quickly promoted to the finance office, which is the person that does like the loan and kind of paperwork. And it was funny the way I got promoted. I've always been one of those people, like I run my mouth pretty openly, and I'm always pretty visible. And the owner was an 80-year-old man at that time. And he was like, Ariel, you're too gosh darn smart to be out there selling cars with them boys. And this wasn't like a small, this wasn't a small dealership. This was a large Ford Lincoln dealership. And so they put me in the finance office, and I did that for the next 7 years. And I was just constantly taking on more responsibility and things than I was supposed to, or than I was getting paid for, and ended up where I was doing the general sales manager's job for them because they either didn't know how, or were not doing a good job, or were pawning it off on me. And I was just like, there was a lot of turnover in that position, and I had been there for a very long time. And so I felt like I felt this sense of obligation, and this is my home, and I've been here for a long time, and this needs to get done, and somebody's got to do it. And so I don't want it not to get done. And so I just kind of took ownership of it in a way that when that turnover happened, each time I found myself having to train the newer person how to be my boss. Kind of, it was a very weird very weird sort of dynamic for a very long time. And after about the 8th person that came through, that I was like, okay, well, here's how you do this. Here's how you work this system. Here's how you run this report. Here's how you do this every month. Here's how here's how you have to manage this particular salesperson, because you can't talk to him this kind of way, and so after about that 8th turnover, I just was kind of like, well, what if I just do this job? It's not really more money, but I'm doing half of this job anyway, and this other job. And so it would kind of be less stress on me if I could just do this whole job.
Right. And stop training people.
My old job. Right. Yeah. Like, right now I'm doing 1.5 jobs. If I could just do this one whole job and somebody else could do my old job, that would probably be easier. Yeah. And so I kind of like, everybody jokes in the car business, you step out of the frying pan and into the fire when you go from finance to general sales, because in the finance office, you are responsible for you're responsible for yourself. And your numbers and your production. In the general sales position, you are responsible for yourself and your other sales managers, and your internet sales manager, and your internet sales people, and your regular sales people, and your marketing people. And just there's probably 25 or so people ultimately that I was responsible for there. And my dealership was interesting too, because I was responsible for all those people, but I didn't have any ultimate decision making on how much money we spent from a marketing perspective, or who we ultimately could hire or fire. It was weird. So, but I was responsible for the output.
That's a lot of responsibility.
So, after about 3 years in that position, they decided to hire another general sales manager and go a different direction, not because we weren't doing a good job. They got kind of sold a bill of goods that it could be better. And so they offered me, because I had always been such a good employee, that they said, you can go back into the finance office where you came from, or you can leave. And I had just signed on a house the week before, a new house. And my husband was not working at the time. And so I went back into the finance office, but I was really kind of dejected and my feelings were very hurt. My ego was bruised. That new general sales manager really did not know anything about anything. So they kind of were sold a bill of goods and he was let go 2 weeks later, but sort of, I was heartbroken at that point. I was not ready to, I couldn't get over that. So, that's when I started sort of making my plans about what I was going to do. And, cause I never thought I'd get out of the car business.
So really, do you at least wait till you closed on your house?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, absolutely.
Good. Yeah. I had closed on the house the week before I got demoted. But I had never really explored alternate avenues outside of the car business because you get wage locked to a certain certain perspective as somebody with no college degree making a very good living. I didn't know what else I could do. So I'm thankful for the career path that I found. Thankful to be outside of it now because I work a considerable amount less hours. I have a much more impactful relationship in my clients' lives, and I still get to utilize a lot of the similar skill sets for sure. And it brought me to LinkedIn and all the amazing new friends that I have.
Yeah. So is there any like sneak peek in what's next for you or in any facet of your life? Not maybe, I mean, you seem extremely happy with what you do, but is there anything, like next chapter dreams you want? I got to ask everybody.
Yeah. So, to answer, I don't want to butcher your name, so please correct me in the chat if I am saying it correctly, but Elisa or Alyssa, they did not. We basically, myself and the other, so there's a general sales manager and then there's a new car sales manager and a used car sales manager. We just kind of rode around. We called ourselves the Headless Horseman. We just sort of operated without that role and we each kind of picked up the slack with that. But it was a very awkward time. And the hiring process with my current company takes about 6 weeks. And so I had to sit in that finance office for the 6 weeks while I went through the hiring process at my current organization. And so that was a very interesting time period. And again, the money is no different. So it was not a financial, it was just an ego blow, which is a bummer. As far as what's next career-wise, my career is it is what it is. There are levels up that you can do within my company and different my passion at this point, again, because of the hours that I worked in the car business, I basically was not able to do any sort of volunteering or community impact work. So I have gone heavy into getting really involved in my community lately because I'm more in my control, in control of my schedule. So I serve on the board of a couple nonprofits in my town, and I am I just signed up to deliver. We have mobile meals. I don't know if that's a national thing or not, but I just signed up to start delivering mobile meals 1 day a week, and couple of different volunteer roles inside the company. So things like that I'm just excited to be able to do. My daughter is 15. She'll be 16 in July. So she just started driving. So as far as what's next there, I'm just trying to cherish.
Gray hair is what's next.
Yeah, right. I am just trying to cherish these last couple years that I have with her before she is not one that's going to like stay home and go to college close to home. She is, I'm sure, going to fly the coop when it's time for college. So I'm just going to cherish these last couple years with her in the house and really enjoy that time. So that's
it goes. I can't tell you how fast it goes.
And it goes faster the older you get. I feel like it's just absolutely mind-blowing.
It's actually some sort of true. I read it on Google where physiologically as we get older, time really does pass faster. But I remember when my oldest went to college, I think that whole year before she went, I had a box of Kleenex with me the entire time.
Yep.
And then my second daughter, so I have two daughters, and they're now 25 and 27. Okay. My 25-year-old, I said, okay, I have 2 years with her home. And that's when I changed and I was working in the real estate industry at the time, and and a single mom, still did real estate. However, my hours, I didn't work both Saturday and Sundays. I always made sure one day was off so I could spend it with I just changed my priorities.
Yeah.
Wish I'd done it sooner with my oldest, but as soon as,
That's-
right, it was just a lesson learned. So I'm
Well,
kind of passing the lesson on because
yes,
it happens so fast. And then you're like, what the frost?
you you do what you can and you learn like as you go. That's I beat myself up a lot, honestly, because I missed I never missed concerts or like
Right.
whatever, but I mean there's a lot of time that I missed with, my daughter was in 7th grade when I made this career change, and gosh, I wish I had done it sooner, because really by the time a child is in 7th grade, they don't necessarily want to spend a whole lot of social time with mom. And so,
I mean, what do we know, right?
Right. So, I beat myself up a lot, but the thing about it is I was able to provide a really good life for her. She's had a great private school education, and she's grateful for that. She understands the sacrifice, I think, which is she's a good kid. I don't know where she gets it. But.
Does she know where she want to go to college yet?
She doesn't know concretely, but her school does a great job making sure that they kind of narrow it down based on not necessarily where they want to go, but like attributes. So she knows that she won't say large university. She knows she wants it to be like a math and science kind of school. She knows she wants it to be more of a city location, not necessarily suburban. And at USC, like Carolina, will be sort of her, I don't want to say fallback, but it will be her default selection. So
if she doesn't get into NYU right in the middle of the city,
what her school asks them to do is a stretch application where they would, their absolute would love to go there if the money and the application gets accepted. They're 99% sure I can get in and would like to go there, and then a fallback kind of application. So, but USC Carolina would be an in-state option. That's where my husband went. If the thing wasn't blurred, this is USC. Is our preferred football team. So that would make everything smooth in the household.
I wasn't lucky. I was living in Florida when my oldest went to college, and she went to the University of San Diego. So I had out-of-state tuition. And I'm from California.
So Florida's cheap even for out-of-state tuition, because that Florida Polytechnic just sent us a piece of mail. So I've been doing a lot of research on that. So I'm like, I would not hate if she went anywhere in Florida.
I love Florida. And then my youngest went to Pepperdine, and fortunately she got a full ride. So that was like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
That's my hope. She really, she's got some things that should secure some scholarships. So hopefully I've been paying for private school since kindergarten. So I'm hoping that I've paid up front all these years to not have to pay for college. But
okay, so I don't want to really freak you out. However, right, I went to a private school. I was at a school where I graduated with 35 girls. I was a college prep. I got a full ride to Georgetown, and I met a guy and sailed around the world for 8 years. So there's my journey. My mother won't let me live it down. She's still here.
Good for her.
Yes.
Good for her. I love that. Well, my daughter's very pragmatic, which is hilarious because I love it. And I think, so I don't think we'll have that issue because she considers the cost.
No men.
Hilarious. Yeah, no, she's not even on her radar, which is awesome. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Knock on wood. I should, watch my luck next week. She'll start with the boy crazy, but
it will happen eventually, or some crazy. All right, Ariel, we've been here a half an hour. Anything else you want to share? If anybody has any comments or anything, a few more minutes before I click the end stream button.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff I'm leaving out, but I think I hit all the high notes as far as the the career notes how I got here. But this is great. I really appreciate you having me, and I appreciate everybody's patience as far as waiting for us to launch the stream. And again, I will plan to share this in a couple of days, so hopefully you get
thank you.
some delayed
and I know
gratification.
there's
I'm
a lot of
sorry,
curiosity with some people that are like, okay, hi Pam, Jennifer, thank you for being on. Some people are like, okay, what does she do? Unless they already haven't snooped you on.
Oh, and I do see some people on Facebook too. So if you are watching on Facebook and you don't have LinkedIn, I guess that's a different conversation. So I'll try to find the post on Facebook, and then I can go. Maybe I can send a message.
Yeah, so go snoop around. Ariel's wonderful. I have some clients that I don't know if they were on when you were on. I don't, because Pam is new to me. So anyway, go snoop around because of Ariel's strict rules of what she can and can't say around her profession. But I honor it. Can I share a post that I must be able to share it because you posted it about, I don't know, I can always edit this out if I'm not allowed to say it.
You can't say anything about it on a live stream, but you could share the post later.
Okay, I'll share the post later because I don't want to get you in trouble because I'm not so much the rule follower. All right, everybody. Have a great Thursday evening.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Everybody have a great evening.